Welcome back, team. This is TWETV here, and I want to go over what's been going on. A lot of people have been asking me, how do I feel about, the downfall of MFF, my Forex funds, to kind of go over the articles, go over, the case and everything. Because, I know it may seem a little confusing, and obviously there's a lot of information out there to read and analyze. So I'm going to kind of summarize it, break it down for everybody, and what to expect now with the prop firms. So let's start out from the top. The CEO of MFF is Murtaza Kazmi. I probably butchered that name. And his company is Traders Global Group Incorporated. To make it very simple, my Forex funds has violated many regulations and acts such as the CEA, or better known, Commodity Exchange Act. The CFTC has charged my Forex funds and its associated companies with fraud, accusing them of taking over $300 million from customers, basically selling them what they call a Ponzi scheme, right? Kind of selling them the dream of, hey, come trade with us and be a professional trader. That's basically what they're selling them. But at the same time, that's what a lot of prop firms kind of do. Not saying necessarily that that's the case with all of them. Just in this particular case, they were taking it to a whole nother level. The charges include violations of rules imposed by the CFTC in Canada and in the USA. So, those are the regulators. The CFTC seeks to freeze the defendant's assets. Kind of like what was going on, how they sent out that email. Now, I think if you go on their website, it just gives you a message about how everything's frozen, and they're looking to see what's going to happen, So everything's frozen until the actual hearing. When everything's frozen, they basically are asked to turn in their books, records, and also to provide restitution to, all the investors. So everyone that obviously was put in this cycle and, I guess you're considered a victim, which kind of are. The payouts are payouts. Yeah, there was people making money. There was. But the biggest problem is how they were doing the payouts. That's what we really have to look at. The CFTC is determined to combat the retail fraud. Like I said, they were advertising things, misadvertising things, how, they were saying how they do their business, and, basically their whole business structure was a lie. They basically are also asking us, as individuals, us that are seeking for, to be funded, moving forward, to basically just be very cautious with unregistered individuals, entities. Just look at their overall background, look at their credibility. They also found that my Forex funds was using tactics such as basically creating a system right in their back end that was reducing the customer's probability of actually profiting, right? It increases the loss, right? So if you really think about it, that just starts the cycle of you pay for it, you try to trade it, your strategy probably worked on your back testing, on a journal or a demo, whatever you were doing, and then you go to trade it and get funded, and now that strategy just seems like it works a few times, but majority of the time it's not working, right? So that was a software they created that had, that was in the back end of everything. We also must emphasize the importance of being cautious when dealing with prop firms, from, looking at the transparency, the credibility, and where are they based out of, right? How we should also look at it is the charges against my Forex funds should also shed light on the significant amount of money involved, as this firm was reportedly collected $310 million in fees since, of November 2021. And that is from an overall rounded amount of about 135,000 customers. So if you think about it, these fees that can be from, that they put it as fees, but we all know what it is. That's basically people paying for, the first phase, to attempt to get funded, and you fail. To be plain and simple. I don't like to sugarcoat it. So they made that much money just from people failing. And if you also think about it, well, they also have a software in the background to push the higher probability of this, and there were certain parts of the article that, they have in writing that the CEO actually was, it's obvious that he was pushing for it, but there was at one point that before the software was created that he had mentioned that there's too much profits being paid out. So he was trying to flip the script, to be very honest with you guys. Now, another thing to pay attention to is how they were allocating these fees, right? Because they're probably breaking the number one rule of owning your own business. If you don't know what that is, that means do not fix and mix your finances. Never do that. Between LLCs, corporations, whatever it may be, whatever entity it may be, and your personal. Never mix them. Because all you're asking for is the day that you get sued, everything's going to hell. Everything's just not going to work out in your favor. So what they were doing was they would also use these fees, right? So the amount that people would pay and fail, right? Let's say 100K account, you pay for it and you fail. Well, that same amount, right, maybe by 4 people that failed, they'll use to pay the few traders that were actually profitable, right? And to manage their expenses, of course. I mean, that would make sense. I mean, at the end of the day, we all kind of expect it. I mean, it's a fee, So yeah, they're going to use it for their expenses, but not to pay out the few traders that are actually profitable. That's a little crazy. Now, with also being said, they're basically, Cosme, the CEO, was, like I said, mixing his finances, right? So the biggest thing that they found was he was obviously using his profits from MFF to fund his personal purchases, such as luxury cars, luxury homes, right? Obviously not in the name of the business, for personal, right? Personal wants, not needs, wants. While he was also transferring tens of millions of funds to his personal account, right? So I'm sure everyone's looking at this information and is probably wondering, so Fabian, what's the answer? Are prop firms over? Well, in a short answer, no. I would say just have a little checklist when trying to find your next firm. Number 1 is, where are they based out of? Number 2, do they have credibility to go off of? Number 3, don't put all your coins in the same bucket, right? A lot of people had like multiple accounts from MFF. And number 4, this is just another wave to filter out the uncompliant prop firms. If you have any questions or need any help, any guidance, my Discord link is in my bio. Stay profitable.